Hello everyone. In continuity of our lecture series of textual analysis of the drama Macbeth, and now we have come to scene third of Act 4. And as we have started this scene earlier in our previous lecture, to remind you all, the major action of this scene is that Macduff has reached to England, and there he is having a conversation with Malcolm. And as you all know, Malcolm is the elder son of deceased King Duncan. So they both are having a dialogue, and in that dialogue, Malcolm expresses his doubt that why Macduff has left his family there in Scotland totally unprotected, and he came here for help. So this arises a kind of doubt in the mind of Malcolm that he might be, or Macduff might be, the supporter of Macbeth. But then Macduff presents his point of view, and he says that he came there only to save his country from the brutal rule of Macbeth. So in this way, these two men are engaged in a conversation, and we have discussed a certain part of this conversation, and now we'll continue with scene third of Act 4th. So now I'm sharing the text from where we will start our textual analysis. Yes, so this is the text from where we will start our textual analysis, and we'll start with Macduff. In the bottom you can see that Macduff fit to govern. So there, this is the text from where we will start our textual analysis. So when Malcolm says that he is not fit, or he is not the right person to rule the kingdom of Scotland, because he feels that he has more greed than Macbeth, then Malcolm tries to convince him that he is fit to govern. So Macduff says, "Fit to govern? No, not to live. Thy royal father was the most sainted king. The queen that bore thee oftener upon her knees, that on the fare thee well." So in this way, now Macduff is trying to convince Malcolm that he is fit to rule and unfortunate country ruled by an usurping tyrant. So he says that, Malcolm, your father was a noble and virtuous kind, and your mother spent more of her time in prayers, living every day. These evils thou repeatest upon thyself have banished me from Scotland. And he also says that whatever evils which you are describing here as belonging to thyself has driven me means Macduff, from Scotland forever. O my breast, thy hope ends here. So he also says that all hopes of my heart die here, because it seems that you are also the same kind of person as Macbeth is. Malcolm, Macduff, this noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped the black scruples, reconciled my thoughts to thy good truth and honor. And now Malcolm says that now he is convinced of Macduff's innocence, and he says that Macduff, the noble emotions of your heart, which are the product of your sincerity, have banished all doubts or removed all doubts and suspicions from my mind. And now I am convinced of your good faith and honor. For strangers to thy nature, I am yet unknown to love. I never was forsworn, scarcely have coveted with was mine own. At no time broke my faith, would not betray. And he also says that wicked Macbeth has tried several times to entrap me by these artifices, but my wisdom and prudence withhold me from taking any rash step. So let God above be a witness to our dealings. Devilish Macbeth, many of these strains had sought to win me into his power, and modest wisdom plucks me from over credulous haste. But God above deal between thee and me, for even now I unspeak mine own detraction. Here absorb the taints and blames I laid upon myself for stranger to my nature. And he also says that at this very moment, I place myself under your direction and withdraw all that I have said against myself. So the faults and vices told by me are unknown to by nature. I am yet unknown to woman, never was forsworn, scarcely have coveted what was mine own, at no time broke my faith, and delight no less in truth than life. And he further says that I have never known any woman and have never broken my pledge. I have never pined for things that are not mine own, and have never broken my pledge. My first false speaking was this upon myself: what I am truly is thine and my poor country's to command, which before thy approach with 10,000 warlike men was setting forth. And he also says that, so I place my true self at your service and at the service of my unfortunate country. Just before you came here, old Seward, Earl of Northumberland, was about to go to Scotland with 10,000 armed soldiers. And so Malcolm says that the army of 10,000 soldiers is ready to help us to free our country from the ruthless rule of Macbeth. So now we shall all go together. So why are you so silent? And now why are you so silent? Macduff, such welcome and unwelcome things at once is hard to reconcile. So now Macduff says that it is difficult to me to reconcile such pleasant and unpleasant things at once. So there Macduff received two kind of information. At first, when he reached to England, Malcolm arises a kind of doubt that he is not a right person to rule the kingdom of Scotland, because he has all kind of vices in his nature, and that's why he is not fit for ruling the kingdom. So this was the unwelcoming thing for Macbeth. And the welcoming thing is that when Malcolm says that whatever he said about the vices in his nature are, all those vices are false, means that this kind of vices he doesn't have in his nature. And he also says that the army of 10,000 soldiers are waiting outside to help us, and means this is the welcoming thing for, or pleasant thing for Macbeth. So in this way, these two kind of things, welcoming and unwelcoming. Enter Rose. So now there is one more character, Rose. Macbeth, see who comes here. So here is the another character, and this is Rose. See who comes here, Malcolm, my countryman, but yet I know him not. So this is, as Macbeth sees Rose, he says that he is my, who comes here, then Malcolm says that he is my countryman, though I don't know him. Macbeth, my ever gentle cousin, welcome hither. Malcolm, I know him now. Rose, Sir Amen. Macbeth, stands Scotland where it did. So Macbeth says that, is the condition of Scotland the same as when I left it? Rose, alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. Now Rose says that this is unfortunate country, and it is so terror stricken that it cannot dare think of itself. It cannot be called our mother but our grave, and though it is our motherland, but it is rather our grave. The dead man's knell is there, scars ask for who, and good men's leaves expire before the flowers in their capes. And this is our country, means Scotland is like a grave, and where nobody who is aware of the state of affairs is seen to smile. Sighs, grief, shrieks of the oppressed resound the sky, but nobody pays heed to them. Now the most violent tragic incidents are regarded commonplace incidents, and now nobody bothers to know who has died when the death knell sings. So good men die more quickly than the flower in their buds. Macbeth, oh true, true, how does my wife? Then Macbeth asks Rose about his wife. Then Rose says, why well? Then Rose replies that why she is well.